Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
We are looking live at a Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Friday, we have JC. We'll have Edgar Thompson breaking down Gator football. Not a whole lot going on. It's kind of that dead time right now, but from tomorrow, you have 2 weeks until kickoff against the Miami Hurricanes. Should be a lot of fun, no doubt about it. We have the St. Jude FedEx Classic going on right now. I have not looked at the leaderboard. Maybe I'll do that today. Good morning, JC. You're on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. What's shaking?
Well, I was dismayed this morning to learn of the firing of the gorgeous and talented Sam Ponder at ESPN.
Sam Ponder got fired?
She gets fired. She got fired
because she agreed that women should not be playing against men in sports.
She spoke out that boys do not belong in women's sports, and they They also let Robert Griffin III go by because I think he was similar on this view. Of course, ESPN says this is more about the economics of the situation, which is total BS. And, you know, I'm curious when Kirk Herbstreit's going to see the axe fall on his neck because, you know, he basically said, I don't really care what people think about my view on this topic, which is correct. And I think Sam Ponder is one of those who, you know, she's very traditional. She's very religious. Smart. She's extremely intelligent. And she's, you know,
married to a pro athlete.
And she's great on television. I have zero doubt that it's, you know, Fox or somebody will pick her up, of course. But I don't know. I mean, maybe she just takes the year off. You know, she's probably got plenty of money. But the point of this is that they let her go for saying something that is correct in the face of woke bullshit. And I think that if everybody at that network basically stood up and said, you know what, I'm going to agree with what's right, then ESPN wouldn't be firing anybody because they wouldn't have anybody left to work. But it has turned into a groupthink, just a groupthink mess at that network. And I can't stand the political agenda they take instead of just doing the one thing they were once good at, and that was covering sports. Now, ESPN,
well, it's like I said, I do not even turn ESPN on now unless it's actually a sporting event. That's the only time. I don't watch Sports Center. I don't watch any of those stupid shows that they have that are probably people think our show's stupid. That's fine, but their shows are really stupid. They don't talk about anything worth a damn. I did not know Sam Ponder got fired. She'll get picked up. I mean, she's busy being a mom too, so somebody will hire her in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and it's just okay. So what do they do with Herbstreit? I mean, I'm curious. You know, what's going to happen to the now? Granted, she only had one show, NFL Live, and he's clearly on a much more lucrative and financially dependent show for that network and College Game Day and so forth. But I just want more people like that to start speaking out because that's the only way this works to try to get people to quit enabling this mental sickness that we have pervading our country. And you can call me whatever the hell you want because of that view, but I feel very good in my skin reflecting that view, and I will continue to do that because it is wrong that boys play in girls sports. Now, we've been through this over and over again, and the only reason I bring it up is because ESPN took the axe to a very good television journalist. So I don't care. You know what? Just keep fighting the fight, and eventually they will have no talent left at ESPN. It's already kind of looking that way anyway. Everybody's in this mode of, well, you better watch what you say. You better watch what you say because, by the way, it's not a free country, and so you better watch what you say, or else you're going to get canceled or in trouble. And the more people that come out against that, the easier it'll eventually be for the rest of us.
Yeah, the world's nuts. Our country's nuts.
Yeah,
I don't even want to get into it, but
I know, but I just,
for anyone that thinks about what some people talked about putting in bathrooms and stuff, and then
yeah, tampon Tim.
letting these men go
Right.
play with. I mean, you really need to check yourself. I don't know how else to put it. You have no common sense and you're
Well,
clueless.
it's
All right.
sick.
On the Titan Mar text line, Mike from St. Augustine says, "Are you going to Florida Victorious event the Friday night before the game? Also, have you ever been to Harmonic Woods tailgate? We have a lot of fun. You should
Oh,
stop by." JC, I've been by. Mike, I've
harmonic
been a
woods.
couple of times to Harmonic. The difference is JC has no responsibilities on game day like I do. Uh,
Well, that's true. Professional responsibilities lack on my end. But you're right, QB. You got to keep everything in order. But a nice little appearance from the Hall of Famer once in a while.
I did go by there. The issue is I stopped by there one day. I have to be on campus about 5 hours before kickoff. So I can't go park and then go back to Harmonic Woods. It's just not possible. I stopped by there. I illegally parked. I just pulled up right on the side of the road right there by their tailgate, said hello, took some pictures, high five some folks and all that, and then went and did all the pregame stuff. But it's too difficult because it's not close to where I am.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. No, it's
on
true. It's down
campus.
there on the end of Museum Road.
Yeah,
Well,
but they do
not
it.
Museum, but
Dude, if you want to go to a
Pratt
damn
Road.
good party, that's the place to go.
Oh, it is. And the mayor was at the Spurs the other night, so I was happy to see the mayor. He kind of he's the founding father of that. But it's a great walk back up Pratt Road to the stadium after you leave, and it's just a great game day experience. And they take all comers. So I'm happily going to say that I'll either go to I'll definitely go to the Texas A&M one game. I'm not sure yet on Miami, but I may just go anyway. Who knows?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
K Brown on YouTube says, brought to you by Quality Tone. David Pollock getting fired was wrong as well. He's awesome. He's very good. There's no question
He is
about it.
good. Why did he? I mean, what happened to David Pollock exactly? What was his story? Do you know why he got fired?
I really don't know. I know
analyst?
he's a big Christian. I do know that.
Okay, great. Most of this country is.
Yeah.
But it is.
But I don't know why ESPN fired him. Who knows? Like I said, I could care less about ESPN. All I care about is when they put the game on TV.
Well, and look, they pay the majority of the dollars and cents that have created this world we live in right now in college football. They have. I mean, they're the ones that pay the most. And because those numbers exponentially seem to go up every contract year, then we have these changes in football, QB. You could actually make the case that ESPN or the Disney company, who is the parent company of ESPN, they're the reason why we have the issues with the money that we have today. Totally. Because the money is so large. That's why the players got involved. And that's why this all got litigated. And we have what we have today. It's because of the money that ESPN was willing to fork out to these conferences to sell those media rights to the network, or for the schools to sell their media rights to the conferences, who then gave the rights to ESPN to cover their teams. That's how this all happened. It started with ESPN. I'm telling you that right now. And Fox jumped on board.
Greg says QB is going to fire JC now. Why would I fire JC, Greg?
What?
Yeah, I don't know what Greg's referring to. Okay, so Josh from Mississippi on the Titan Mar text line says, QB, what was your favorite play from college? The play that you knew would work majority of the time. What was it called, and what was the design scheme of it? Thank you. Have a great weekend. Oh, Josh gives great questions, but those are things that you got to think about for a long time. There was never one favorite play. I mean, we had multiple ones. My favorite plays were the plays that were called knowing that they were getting ready to attack whatever defense we had called. Now, a lot of times we had the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage to something we liked. So I don't know if there's one favorite play that I can think of right now, but thanks for the text. Okay, I got off on a tangent today. Let's talk about Florida victorious, JC. Join today to help make Florida victorious. Do that. All right.
I'm all for it.
All right. AU Gator on YouTube says, I stopped watching ESPN when they pushed out Mike Golick for that weenie Mike Greenberg. No, they didn't push him out. I think they were partners.
Well, they were, but Mike Golick did leave the network, and
Well, I know that they got rid of him, but
look, a lot of times these dismissals don't come because of any sort of political bent. It's basically contracts that expire and the talent wanting more or a different type of contract, and the company saying no, that's not what we're going to offer. It's the same thing that happened to the Pac-12. If they had taken the original offer from Walt Disney of $30 million per team, or per school, I should say, that conference would still be in existence today. But they got this study from a bunch of professors in that conference that basically said the net asset value of our schools is upwards of $50 million for the rights. And Disney basically came back and said, have a nice day. We're not renewing. And their contract with television ran out. Larry Scott was then released and let go. And George Kliavkoff came in and basically had nothing of any substance. And the conference then, of course, disappeared. But if they weren't greedy and they understood what their brands were worth, then we would have had the Pac-12, and maybe USC and UCLA would not have joined the coast-to-coast conference, which is now called the Big Ten, which should be called the Big 18, but is really the coast-to-coast conference. Okay, you got 4 teams from the Pacific time zone, and you got the rest of them in the Central and Eastern time zone.
All right, so Braun71 has this question for us on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. He says, it was common to see 2 teams in the 4-team structure, talking about the playoffs, but I have this feeling that the committee would feel 6 from one conference would be too many despite being the same percentage. I guess he's asking, could 6 teams from one conference make the 12-team playoff? Absolutely, they could, in my opinion.
Well, the over-under on the SEC is 4.5. Which way?
Right, but I'm saying it's probably not going to happen. But if those are 6 damn good teams and they're highly ranked, and
that's
the committee thinks they're good enough, you got to put them in there.
You know, I think it's automatic that a 10-2 SEC team is going to be in the playoffs.
Oh,
but
10-2 easily is in.
But remember, you could have more than 2 teams at 10-2 in the SEC, but you're only going to get 2 teams in the SEC championship game at 10-2. So would you rather play in that game?
No, I talked about this the other day. I mean, you want to hang a banner and get a ring for the SEC champion, but I think those teams, the third and fourth spot. Now, granted, if you win the SEC, you're probably going to get a bye the next week. But being the 3rd or 4th best team in the league might be the best place to be because you don't have to play that extra game.
So are you saying under 4.5 or over for SEC?
I think there's going to be guaranteed 4.
Guaranteed 4. Okay.
I'm not answering your question. I think we got to see how the season plays out.
Well, I know, but I'm asking for a prediction. But listen, I think 4 is a lock. I mean, you're going to have both teams that play in the conference championship game, and likely a 10-win team that doesn't play in the conference championship game, say like Ole Miss or somebody like that. So, I'll tell you this: if the Florida Gators go 9-3 or 8-4, look for them. Look for them.
Tighten our text line from a 941. All these people getting canceled are going independent, like Tucker Carlson, Sage Steele, Glenn Becky, etc. Network TV will be a thing of the past soon.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's going to take over all broadcasting of everything, right? I mean, that you can make that case down the road that's what we're going. Linear TV is going that, but I love my linear TV, even though I overpay for it. I love not having issues with logins and buffering and all that kind of crap. But I do believe YouTube eventually is going to be the only channel we have. And you're just going to go beep, 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 beep.
Do you have YouTube?
I can put it on there. Absolutely. I put it
YouTube TV is the greatest thing ever.
You love it, yeah.
All right. Kanye Ron's got a good question here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, could you run through your typical pre-snap reads and what a typical read during the play would be to dictate where you threw the ball? How are those reads the same or different in Napier's system? Well, everybody teaches stuff differently. I don't know how they teach their read. Coach Spurrier teaches his reads different than anybody in America, in the world. We did not go 1, 2, 3 like you see these people, Dan Orlovsky and these guys, which I think he does a phenomenal job. But a lot of NFL reads are, if number 1's not open, you go to number 2, number 3, down to number 4, or what have you. We didn't do that. We divided the field into thirds, kept our eyes kind of in a third, and if that we just read the combination route. If it wasn't open, we checked it down to our back over the ball. Your pre-snap read has a lot to do with it's making it simple. There's either going to be one high safety in the middle of the field when the ball is snapped, or there's going to be two. All right. If it's two high safeties, you usually have a design pattern or side of the field you work. If it's one high safety, you go the other way. That's pretty much that simple. Like I said, there are multiple teams that I played for that made it way too damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, when I sit here and talk about the passing game, I help high school kids for like 15 years. We had a vertical NFL spurrier passing attack, because if you teach it, it's simplistic. They can go do it. I don't know if I answered any of your questions, but I'm not one of these 1, 2, 3 type guys. Never been. That's how 99% of the people do it. I don't agree with it, but I'm not coaching, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. But I can say, but you can say, not me, but you can say that in your illustrious coaching career, whenever you chose to do it, things went pretty well, I would think.
Yeah. It's simple, man. Some people make it way too hard. Hard.
Yeah.
All right. There was a couple of Facebook Live questions here I needed to
Can
get
I
to.
read? Can I read something off YouTube?
Yeah.
Richard Harvey. 18 years ago, I started a 529 plan for my granddaughter. She moved into the University of Florida dorm yesterday as a freshman. Her Papa and Bright Future scholarships will cover 100% of her expenses. What a great text that is. That makes me happy, because that's a man and a family that took advantage of the time that daughter had before college and used the money the right way. And this is the kind of advice that Richard should be giving all of these athletes. If he wants to, go ahead, Richard. I'll give you an emeritus license to go ahead and give financial advice. Great job there. And that's why you see success. And good for her. I hope she's a great Gator, has a great experience at the University of Florida, and loves every minute of her time, because the time in college is the most freedom you will have in your entire life, and it should be valued. And I hope it works out. And way to go, Richard. Very that's a great text. I mean, for somebody like me, I love reading that. So I'm very happy for you, Richard.
Yeah.
And your daughter.
Andy asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law, will it get to the point where NFL type records will get in the playoffs?
Granddaughter.
I don't think so yet, because you can have a losing record, win your division, and get in the NFL. That's not going to happen unless we go to divisions. But there's too many teams. There's 135 teams that are in this tournament. But I do firmly believe this, just because of strength of schedule, those type of things. When you get to the old blind resume that they do in the NCAA tournament, as JC said, if Florida goes 9-3, they're in.
Oh yeah, no,
they're in easily.
I mean, that schedule. But QB, the Kyle Whittingham, your outstanding coach at Utah, says we're not going to have 135 teams battling it out. It's going to be about 60.
Well, I think they're going to eventually do like that. They're going to take the big boys, and then the group of 5 group is going to do their own little thing, which I think they should. I think that will be fun for fans.
I agree.
Shelvin says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mello, I have the ratings for Talking Heads shows gone up or down on ESPN. I used to watch many of the shows, but now rarely watch. I hate the wokeness of the network now and the silliness on the shows. I feel my time with shows like this and others. Yeah. We're kind of silly at times too, though.
Well, we do a podcast, QB. I mean, but
we're not paid millions like those guys.
Yeah. You aren't really. Army Sniper, why do all the Gator beat writers keep saying Florida's O-line, mainly the right side, is suspect? They haven't seen any of the practice or scrimmages. What's he talking about there, QB?
Now that's always been I think it's because I don't know I have no idea. You really don't know how any team in America is going to be until you start watching them play a couple of games. Damian George played right tackle. Yeah. He's now moved to right guard. So I don't know if people are assuming, since he struggled at right tackle, he's going to struggle at guard. That may not be the case.
Hope not.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they do struggle, maybe they don't. But you can't assess it until you watch them play a game.
Well, I mean, I know he's referring to last year, and Mertz was under a lot of pressure last year. So hopefully that's not the case this year.
Yep. Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it, we stand by it. We got JC on the Titan tomorrow hotline, and we're going to have Edgar Thompson. Maybe we'll ask Edgar what he thinks of the right side of the offensive line.
Edgar will tell you.
Baron wants to know, QB and JC, this is YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Your thoughts on John Ruiz losing all his funny money with Life Wallet? I don't know anything about it.
Is that the Miami booster?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these people put money in the market. I heard a story yesterday. This is a sad story, but it's true. A wholesaler of mine who works for a company that we use as a vendor, his daughter called, and she called crying out of her mind because her husband lost $300,000 a week ago when the market had a volatility spike. And it all came down to a hedge fund manager basically gambling with everybody's money. And in total, they lost, his firm and his fund lost $60 million in one day. Just know what you do.
Bad day.
Buyer beware. Buyer beware. So maybe John Ruiz was involved in some of that. Who knows? 60 million. Poof. It can happen. That's called a suicidal tragedy right there.
Mark asks on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. You played with Stephen Davis at Washington. What kind of back was he? Boy, powerful. Good running back. Good running back. Obviously got punished, took the punishment very well, but running backs don't last long in that league. But very good teammate. Really like playing with Stephen Davis for sure. So Barone says that's my problem with the expanded conferences. The committee is going to punish 2 to 3 loss SEC or Big Ten teams for 1 loss lesser team. I don't know.
Well, listen, the thing is, 12 teams is all it's going to eventually go to 16, but this is better than 2, and it's better than 4. We don't have to watch those ridiculous shows on ESPN about who's in, who's out. I'm just so sick of that. So, we got 6 automatic qualifiers. 5. Who is the 5th power conference, QB?
There's only 4 now.
4 now. Okay.
There's
That's why
4 Power 4 conferences.
So there's how many automatic bids are there in the 12-team playoff?
I don't think there are any automatic bids, are
there?
I don't think the conference champs are. I don't think they are.
No, they are. I'm almost certain of that. I mean, ask Edgar, but you and I both should know that, QB. What the hell you've been talking about every day? Yeah, okay.
The 4 conference champ, but I could have sworn maybe I read something that they may change that. I don't know.
What I'd love to see them change is the top 4 seeds get a home game on campus, even with a bye week. That's what I'd love to see. But they're so damn concerned about incorporating these dumb bowls into the system because of the money. I wish they would just give the home teams or the high seeds a home game. That's what I wish. I'd rather be a 5 seed than a 4 seed.
You would?
Well, you get a home game on campus, yeah. Even though you don't.
JC, got a question for you.
Okay.
You know who Weston Wilson is?
Yeah, he plays baseball.
He does. He became the 9th player.
Hit for the cycle.
He became the 9th player in Philadelphia Phillies history to hit for the cycle last night.
And by the way, the Phillies were part of a 3-team winner on the Hard Rock Sports app last night. How about those fighting Phillies, baby? The Hard Rock Sports app gives you that opportunity to increase your net worth, and it's a great thing to do. And believe me, if you don't, if you, it's only a problem if you lose. And so here it is: Orioles, Twins, and Phillies. See all that green, QB? See there?
Mm-hmm.
Orioles, Twins, and Phillies. Twins beat the Rangers late last night. And the Orioles
how many losers did you have?
I had the Rangers on a hedge with the Twins, lost $15 there, but I won 115 on the parlay. So I call that a winning day. What do you think of that, QB?
That's a good one. All right, this day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. 2009 PGA Championship, Hazeltine National Golf Club.
It's in Minnesota.
Tiger Woods loses.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know who he lost to, JC?
What year? Tell me.
2009.
Gosh, that's a while back. That would escape me right now.
He's a South Korean.
Oh, he lost to. I'm going to say he lost to KJ Choi.
No, Y.E. Yang.
Are you sure he's not Chinese?
The thing right here says Y.E. Yang of South Korea.
Okay. All right. Well,
I just have a feeling. I'm very intrigued by this South Korean because they put so many good players on the
you
PGA
really
Tour.
are. But
They
don't
have to have some like phenomenal golf caddy. These kids, I just imagine a bunch of little 4-year-old, 5-year-old kids.
Right.
They don't even go to school. They just go to the South Korean Golf Academy.
Well, no, I'm sure they go to school, but these golfers are exempt if they are good enough from having to join the armed forces for a minimum period of time in that country because they have a lunatic literally within 60 miles wanting to destroy their existence. So, I think it's amazing all of these South Korean golfers, women, especially on the women's side. But QB, they don't win much. They make money. They make money.
Yeah.
They do well. They keep their
print
status.
money.
They print money and they keep their status. But I'm never seeing them hold the cup. I did see Siwoo Kim, of course, won the TPC a few years ago, or the Players Championship. But man, they don't win that often. Hideki, of course, is Japanese, and he won at the Masters. So he's
all right.
He's
so recapping our Peachland Dental picks for the weekend. In the PGA Tour playoffs, and I have not even looked to see what my guys are doing.
Right now.
I looked briefly yesterday. Tom Kim was in the lead. I looked last night. I couldn't even find him all. So I have Tom Kim, Sungjae M, Corey Connors, Tony Finau. You have Horschel, Harris English, Tom Hoagie, and Mav McNeely.
Okay, we are in the tank.
Probably not doing great, are we?
We are in the tank. Should have gone with the names, but Christian Kirk, who used to play for the Jaguars, is first at -6. What's his name? Is it Chris Kirk?
It would be Chris Kirk, Georgia Bulldog.
Kirk. He played for the Jags. And then the aforementioned Hideki Matsuyama, 500. Oh, Pendrith. I was close to taking him, but I wanted to go All-American. Scheffler, of course, and Schauffele are too bad. I mean, is there any doubt that Scheffler and Schauffele,
they should. They got to get to a point where you guys are not invited.
Yeah, or you have to start at 4 over. Year round. You're not even when you start. You're automatically 4 over. Oh wait, Harris English. Here he is, my guy at 2 under. So there's. Oh, and Billy Horschel, another one of my guys at 2 under. So okay, I shouldn't have said that. They're only 4 back. 2 of my guys are 4 back. I'm a winner. So
you're a winner. If you took them in the top 20, you'll be okay.
That's right for today, anyway. But St. Jude. It's in Memphis. So. So
JC, let everybody know we will not have you on the program next week.
I will be missing everybody next week as I venture off to Scotland for the week, but I'll be back on the 26th.
I thought you were going to Ireland.
No, this is Scotland, and then Ireland will be the next European golf trip, and then I can finally lay on my deathbed one day and say I did it, because I feel like if you're ever debating on these trips, you better do it before you get too old, because you won't be able to enjoy it if you just wait. And I got tired of waiting when all my friends have gone over and over again. So I'm going to Scotland with 5 other guys.
You'll enjoy it. I tell you what, the food is terrible there.
Yeah, but the
roads are terrible.
The British Women's Open is being held that week. Next week when we're there, the Women's British Open in St. Andrews. I am 1 block off the 18th hole at the old course in St. Andrews.
Are you going to go raise hell?
Raise hell. I don't know.
Scream at the ladies?
I'll have a pint or 2. Let's say that.
So I just got a text here from Kevin on the Dynamo text line. He says, wait, QB has Ju Young Kim, not Tom Kim. Same guy, Kevin, same guy.
He's got to know his Kims. Come on, Kevin. I'm really worried about the weight gain that I could possibly have, but the food is so bad, maybe I just won't eat.
No, it was when I went, let's see, I went in 2008. So what's that, 16 years ago?
Yeah.
It was terrible. I can only eat Mars bars.
It was terrible? Was that bad?
It was awful. Well, I don't eat like fish and chips and that kind of crap.
Okay.
Even I ordered, like, at our nice hotel, ordered a burger, and it was like a lamb burger or something. It just didn't taste right.
It was junk. Well, I'll report back on the 26th if I can awaken myself. So I will be fine. But I'm going to miss everybody. You guys have a great week. QB will line up the shows with great guests and have great content for you. And then we'll have the Florida State game on that Saturday. Wait, a week from – no, he'll have it on that Saturday. It's a week from tomorrow. It's Florida State and Georgia Tech. A week from tomorrow. So you guys will have that, and we'll talk about that on Monday and get ready for Florida, Miami. It's on. It's finally here. So
it is. All right, JC, have a good day, my friend.
Adios, folks. See you in a week.
That's JC joining us on the Tight Number Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Take a quick time out, come back, talk a little Gator football, Edgar Thompson, what he's hearing, what he's seeing out at practice. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills.
Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, Titan MRI, Meldon Law, Peachland Dental, QC Kinetics, Campus USA Credit Union, Dave & Buster's. Gridiron sponsors, Comfort Temp, UF Bookstores, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, F45. Our touchdown sponsors, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Aikido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, MG&A Wealth, Nest and Wild.
If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Ruse Oakers State Farm Office, a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Let's go back to the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by Ed Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. What's up, Ed?
That's funny.
Edgar, how you doing?
I changed my name to Edgar when I started writing at the school newspaper in New Mexico in 1988. Because I thought it sounded literary, but that's my real name. But I went by Ed forever.
Edgar Thompson sounds like a poet.
That's why I did it.
Michael, I got to get to this. Michael on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says, Mars Bars QB, did you take a supply week? No. So I was telling them, JC's going to Scotland. I was over there for like a week with the Mannings. And
nice.
The food was, I thought the food was horrible. Now I'm a picky eater, but all they had that I actually could eat and try to have something in my stomach were these candy bars, Mars bars. I never had a Mars bar.
Why?
And I don't know if they're made in Scotland or what, but that's all they had. They didn't have Snickers. They didn't have anything, but I thought the food was terrible.
How old are you?
Well, when I was over there, I was 38 years old, and I don't do fish. I don't eat seafood. I didn't eat the fish and chips. The burgers I had one burger and it was terrible. It tasted weird. So I had to live on Mars bars. So no, I didn't take them with me. They just sold the heck out of them there. At every golf course I was at, they had Mars bars.
So yeah, Mars bars. How old are you now though? 52?
I'm 54.
Okay. So I have a few years on you, not many. And they were pretty prominent in the 70s in our childhood, but they weren't very good, I didn't think. They were kind of that nougat kind of bar.
Yeah, but hey, at that point, Edgar, I had to eat something. And I like chocolate, so I had to eat that.
No, they're edible. But yeah. I would say, yeah, if you don't like seafood, I thought Ireland's food was phenomenal, but we were eating Dover sole, we were eating oysters, prawns. Yeah. a lot. See, you don't like that stuff.
No, I don't eat any of that. We just drank beer and ate Snickers. I mean, Mars bars. All right, Edgar.
Healthy.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of people that have been texting and tweeting and everything about, I guess, a bunch of reports from you media boys, and I don't know if it was you or not, but
Probably
they're talking
not.
about how the right side of the offensive line is struggling. Can you touch on that? Or do you think that's what's going on? Or have you heard anything?
If they're picking up on that from 12 minutes of watching individual drills, you know, I'm impressed. It's certainly the thought out there that the right side of the offensive line is struggling, that the whole offensive line is they're trying to figure out those pieces. Mark and I did our podcast yesterday. You're the new pod in the morning guest, Mark Long of the Associated Press, who I thought did well last week. We were talking about it yesterday. I mean, they got to figure out the line. Both lines need to perform much better. That's a no-brainer. The defensive line was pushed around last year. I think there are a lot of options there. Losing Jamari Lyons is a key rotational piece, I think. I thought he flashed a couple of years ago. Remember, he had like a safety or something. I thought he was actually a pretty good player, and that was a big loss. And sounds like that injury was horrific. The young man suffered. So it's going to move guys up and force some guys to play maybe a little bit more. But the offensive line, yeah, it was not good last year. Graham Mertz got sacked 5 times in the opener, and it was the beginning of him being pressured week after week. I think he was sacked 3 times or more, 8 times last year. The tackles need to be a lot better. Austin Barber played hurt all last year. I think he and Jake Slaughter are the 2 pieces we know for sure, right? Center, left tackle. Austin, I think, has the athletic ability and the tenacity to play that position. We'll see. Left guard, it sounded like Najee Harris was the guy, but they were even trying some other guys out there a little bit, it seems. But I think he'll be the left guard. But the right side is still to be determined. You think it's going to be Crenshaw Dixon, the San Diego State kid? But, you know, he played in the Mountain West. Is he going to be physical enough and able to play the right side at the SEC level? Cam Waits looks the part. I mean, the guy's 6'8", 345. I mean, you'd love for him to develop at that position. Damian George, he wasn't good at right tackle. Well, they moved him inside. Is he performing well enough there? I know they like Rod Kearney, but he was going to back up Slaughter, but maybe he's going to play some right guard now. I tell you, he's a fire plug. He looks like a physical kid. And don't forget, he flipped from FSU when he signed 2 years ago. I think he's an Orange Park kid, Jacksonville area. And he was a big recruit. He was a top 125-ish kind of kid. They flipped from FSU and was a good get. You have options, but you got to find the right combination. And it isn't a big rotational thing like defensive line. You play, it's not an iron 5, but you do play your offensive line. You want that cohesiveness. You want guys playing together. So you got to find that combo. And Miami is going to test that offensive line. That is a good front 7. That's the strength of that team probably. So sure,
Well,
I don't know what's really going on there personally from practices and stuff. But I think that they are seeking the right combination there, obviously.
and if you are struggling during the course of a game, whether it's whatever, it could be protection, whatever, there are ways that you can mask that. You can help with your play calling or with tight ends or with backs. Or there's multiple ways that if you have a weakness, usually every team has weaknesses somewhere, right? I mean, even the great defenses, they have a weakness. Same way with offenses. So I'm hoping if we are struggling in pass protection or what have you, there are ways around it to help out the guys struggling. Doesn't mean you have to replace them. Lanny's question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon, is Joey Slackman big and strong enough to move inside? I thought he was an inside guy. Is he not?
It's an interesting, question. Slackman's interesting. He spoke this week. I mean, the guy's a wild man. he's into all this smelling salt stuff. I mean, this has all made the rounds now. He's doing cannonballs into the cold tub. He's just kind of a wild man and brings a lot of energy and personality to this team. And he was a college wrestler who would play for high school football in Long Island, which is, as he says, not a big recruiting hotbed for college football. But after a couple years, he'd missed the game and the team kind of vibe, and he went back to football. Now he was what was he, defensive player of the year in the Ivy League, I believe, last year. But that's the Ivy League. This is SEC now. He's he's a powerful guy, and I'm sure he's going to be a load, but for a handful for guys, but is he, I don't know. We'll have to see if he's got the, the quickness and the physicality at this level. He's going to play. And the one thing with him, he's got a real injury history. If you go read Bruce Feldman's piece last year with The Athletic, this guy's had a lot of injuries. So we'll see how he holds up. He's definitely one of the guys I'm interested in seeing. There are a lot of them on this roster, though, how they perform. And a number of them are transfers. Guys like Brendan Crenshaw, Dixon, Slackman, Elijah Badger, guys like this how are they going to transition to this level and help this, this team?
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mental Law. Edgar, how do you think Billy will utilize Tank Hawkins' speed? Only on kickoffs?
I think he's going to probably do more based on the scrimmage the other day. I mean, he and DJ Lagway hooked up on a long touchdown. He scored another touchdown. Billy was fairly forthcoming on Monday, or very forthcoming, about like how guys looked. He usually doesn't talk about guys scoring touchdowns. He talked about Katie Daniels having a long run where he said he could see even how he saw the hole and then made the cut and got through it and had a long run. He said better perimeter blocking, it would have been a touchdown. So why wouldn't you try some of these young guys with the speed of Tank Hawkins, who's hitting 23 miles an hour on the GPS? He and Aiden Mizell are guys with a lot of speed you should try to use, take some advantage of.
Yeah, Tank. It'll be interesting to see what they use with him. He could be that jet sweep guy a lot. He reminds me a lot of Jacquez Green. They're kind of built the same. And then I thought Katie Daniels was outstanding in the scrimmage. I think he makes people miss. I'm not going to say he's Chris Rainey type, but he caught the ball really well in the backfield, but he makes people miss. And I like our running backs for sure.
There's a lot of depth there. We were talking about that yesterday. I watched the running back specifically the other day, just because we were in the indoor, which I kind of like the practices in the indoor. You maybe don't see as much, but you can really get close to like a drill. And I watched the running backs for like 15 minutes. Jaden Baugh, man, I'm telling you, he is powerful and quick. Yeah. And he like they were doing a blocking drill, and he actually like really looks like he could be a blocker. Think about him. He played tons of different positions. He was a smaller school guy, I believe, in Georgia. Am I correct there? I think he played maybe a little small. He was a 3-star recruit.
He's from Georgia.
Played a ton of different positions. He's a linebacker, a safety, a running back, a this, a that. And so he's got a lot of versatility. They have options. This Jacoby Jackson is causing a lot of buzz. And, Trayon Webb, who kind of left practice for a little bit the other day, Jacob Rudner from 247 Sports is saying he has a calf strain, which doesn't sound too severe, too big. And then as we were leaving, and I didn't watch your show yesterday. I do try to tune in. I didn't see it yesterday. Montrell Johnson was on the treadmill jogging. Did that come up yesterday?
Yeah, somebody, I guess, reported it, and I think Andy or somebody's. Hey, look, I think he's going to play. I think it's all going to determine how, when they're doing all his rehab and stuff, how he feels when he's cutting. I think that's going to be the issue.
Well, cutting, breaking tackles, taking a pounding versus running on a treadmill. But still, he's progressing.
Yeah. John's question on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. If you're leaving guys in the block, whether it's running backs or tight ends, doesn't limit what plays you can call, maybe one or two less receivers. Well, that's true, but I came from one of the greatest passing minds ever. And sometimes we had 7-man protection, which means we only had 3 receivers in the routes. And that was due to we wanted to make sure we had good protection for this route concept because we knew that we had an opportunity to make a big play. So it's just different philosophies. But you're right. The fewer guys that go out, I mean, if you got more guys blocking, you don't send as many guys out. It works both ways. But I'm a big fan of 6-man protection. You got
could
plenty
chip
of concepts.
guys and do things too.
There's a million things
routes.
you can do. You don't have to send 5 and 6 5 guys out on every pass play. I think sometimes when we go empty, I'm like, why are we going empty? There's a not just us. I'm talking about other teams. There's a time and place to go empty, which means you got 5 eligible receivers spread out, nobody in the backfield with a quarterback. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. Crowls on YouTube wants to know, Edgar, don't you sense a higher level of confidence and candor from Billy? Are you bought in from this team being better?
I definitely think Billy sounds a lot more confident. He's been much more candid and engaging. And we got Billy one day recently for 28 minutes. It's like a record. And he didn't seem like he was in a rush to get out of there. After he was done, he was chatting up Zach Albaverdi, who had his cute little daughter at the press conference because didn't have childcare, I guess. And Billy was chatting with her and Zach. So, Billy, he's feeling, maybe more comfortable with us too. I mean, we're not out to burn Billy or, tear down what he's trying to do here. You got to write what the truth is. And so far it's 11-14 and losing close games and some sideline chaos and some head scratching decisions at times and things like that. So they come out and, I mean, we're going to know what the deal is starting August 31. Right now, it's talking season, as we joke, because it's Coach Spur's great comment, and we're seeing snippets of practice.
Here's the thing, too, Edgar.
We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's coming, but I'm much more confident in what's coming. But if they come out on August 31, Shane, and look like they looked on August 31 last year at Utah, then we got problems. Because
I agree with that.
Prepared that night.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say this, though. There will be many people. Let's just say the Gators do beat Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There will be multiple people on other talk shows on this show. Miami's in the ACC. They're not very good. Right? That's what they're going to say. They're going to say that.
Well, the fact is, they got a really good front seven. They got a lot of talent. They got a one of the top quarterback portal guys, Cam Ward. And it's going to be a challenging game.
Who's I saw a thing the other day. His stats between home games and road games are like night and day. He struggles on the road a lot.
Well, as you point out, the swamp.
He'll never. In all the years he's played football, and moving forward in his life, if he plays the rest of this year, and if he plays in Canada or wherever he plays, he will never ever play in an environment like this, ever.
You're already got the guy going to the CFL.
I don't think he's good enough to play in the NFL.
Huh?
I don't think he's good enough to play in the NFL.
I tell you, he's pretty highly touted, but okay.
I think but let me just say this, Edgar.
What's his size? I haven't done.
He's big, but let me just say this. He may get a sniff.
Is he a small guy?
But no, he's tall. He's tall. He's a big guy.
Okay.
I don't think all these people thought Justin Fields could play in the NFL. Justin Fields cannot play in the NFL.
Well, he's playing in the NFL. That's all.
He's in the NFL, but what I'm saying is, I could have told you that if you're going to take Justin Fields, if you take him in the 3rd or 4th round, okay, that's fine. He's a project. He's a backup. Why these people continue to waste picks on guys that can't play the position? Yeah, they have all these so-called combine ability.
Though, dude.
What's that?
It's been going on forever. I mean,
I know that.
Smith,
I know that.
Back to.
But if you look at the teams that have really good quarterbacks, so they can evaluate that position much better than other teams that keep trying to find that guy.
All right, so the Bears, and I was a Bears fan for years. Mike Singletary, my all-time favorite player. They haven't had a good quarterback in so long. I mean, I go back to the Bob Avellini days. McMahon was the first good guy they had, and then he kept getting hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I remember they were like 9-1, and he got slammed on the turf, and that was the end of that season. And they were starting Doug Flutie against the Redskins in the playoffs one time. I mean, Doug Flutie's like 5'7". They had like Charles Mann and Dexter Manley coming off the edges. I mean, it was a bloodbath. But they've had a history of this bad quarterbacking. They take Trubisky, horrible. They take Fields, was a reach. Now they got Caleb Williams. They finally
But Caleb Williams he's an elite thrower.
They look like they finally might after all this time.
That's what's crazy to me is you can tell when a guy's an elite thrower immediately.
You're
not going to teach somebody how to throw the football at that age. All right, so we get you out of here. A lot of people are sitting here talking. Army Sniper says, "Did you see Rashada's new claim yesterday, stating that Napier promised him $1 million on signing day?" What I mean, this kid needs to just get. I mean,
that's not new. That part was original. Here's the new stuff. You want me to go through this real fast?
Yeah, you got to do it quick though.
This new updated complaint, amended complaint, is now trying to put Ty Napier, in my opinion, closer to this thing because Hugh Hathcock showed up in June of 2022. This is the new part of the thing. Comes in the back door of some room to meet Harlan Rashada. He was there on the dropping off his Lamborghini for a photo shoot. And according to the complaint, Marcus Castro Walker, the former NIL head of the NIL program, Marcus Castro Walker, told Harlan, you didn't meet this guy, but they're trying to say this was the whole secret meeting that kind of facilitated this whole $13.8 million deal. And they have Hathcock at one point in the lawsuit saying he didn't do anything without Napier or Marcus Castro Walker directing it. He goes, I listened to them, was the quote. And that's how they're trying to tie Billy more tightly to this thing. There is no evidence in this lawsuit Billy Napier facilitated this $13 million deal. And I find it hard to believe that Billy Napier on signing day was like sitting there like in a panic saying, don't worry, we'll wire you $1 million.
Yeah.
He might have said, hey, we're people of our word. We honor our deals, whatever, something to that effect. But I just find the whole thing seems to have a lot of incredulity to it. And we'll see. But
all right.
They're just trying to tie Billy Napier more tightly to this and make him look worse.
Yeah. He should counter-sue what Army Knife said for defamation. All right. Real quick. Michael wants me to ask you this on YouTube, brought to you by Quiet Plumbing. Before Edgar leaves, ask Edgar as a media guy if he heard about ESPN letting Sam Ponder go for her stance on the trans issue. What are your thoughts?
I haven't heard it, and I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I will say that Bobby Massa, 36 years old of Dallas, Shane, 29-69 in the amateur rankings. You see this? He's in the quarterfinals of the USAM. He's ranked almost 3,000 in that. He beat a kid from Michigan State in 24 holes in the round of 16.
Is he coming to Florida?
No, he's a 36-year-old guy.
Oh, a 36-year-old guy. You went from the Sam Ponder straight to this.
I don't want to talk. I'm not.
Well, I will. Me and JC already raised hell that Sam Ponder is absolutely correct, and ESPN should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that issue.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, Edgar. We appreciate your time. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Twitter. Is your
Can.
Twitter account working?
No. OS Gators has been down for 3 weeks. As of today, 3 weeks. I haven't been able to tweet, share stories. I'm at wit's end. I need Elon Musk to intercede and fix this damn thing. Because I'm switching to another account starting next week. So have me on so I can promote my new Twitter account.
You got it. Have a good weekend, Edgar. We'll talk to you next week. That's
Talk to
Edgar
you
Thompson
soon.
or Ed Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Join us on the Titan and More
Thanks
hotline.
for having me.
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll be 2 weeks away from Miami, Florida tomorrow afternoon. Appreciate you joining the program. We'll see you next week. Take care.